Well, other than talking about you're here for a film of yours. Let's talk about that. I guess the first thing is because I knew that this was a stage play, and so I'm wondering if that was kind of your first impression of this story, and was that kind of, did you know that when you saw it that this was going to be something that you wanted to work on?
I never saw it. I was working at the time that it was on Broadway, and so my first viewing of this was the screenplay written by the playwright, and I just loved it. I just really loved it, and I didn't sense a play in there. I could see there was a certain good amount of dialogue, but then I went to watch the tape of the play, which was great, but I felt the screenplay was much better. All these scenes that are hinted at in the play, you see them in the film, and I feel that in this case makes it better, richer, rounder. The climax is much better, clearer in the film, and I emotionally identified with it completely. I just was very moved by the subject matter. I lost a brother when I was a kid, and changed our whole family dynamic. Weren't really able to process it, and this felt like it was an opportunity to revisit those feelings and be in a healing way, to go through them again and help a certain amount of catharsis for me and maybe be useful to other people. So I let the producers, Per and Nicole, know how I felt, how I wanted the camera to be very invisible. It's all about performances. It's not about fancy music or camera or like director, things. And just let the characters speak, and they quickly agreed, and we leapt into post-production. This was early 2009, and edited for a very long time.
Why is that?
Well, the producers were more painstaking than I, and I'm pretty perfectionist, but they wanted to, they didn't feel any need to rush. It's like there's always another festival when we'll be ready for, and you only have one chance. So they just wanted, but it was really frame by frame, note by note. Getting the right composer was right, because we worked through a few that were working for various reasons, schedule or whatever, and took a lot of time to find this guy Anton Senko, who we're very happy with.
To be able to, when you read the cast, it's like, oh, Nicole Kidman is part of it. And so obviously there comes she's a brilliant actress, but there is this kind of, she's an Oscar, like that. So how did you manage to, and I'm assuming she was in on it too, but to strip away this kind of super, celebrity kind of that surrounds her every performance, because you watch a Nicole Kidman performance, but in this film, you managed to do a really great job of kind of making me forget that I'm watching Nicole. I don't know if that's a really smart, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but you know what I'm saying? It's like, it's kind of...
Well, I think it's her most grounded performance. She's had brilliant performances and in different styles of movies, and I really was attracted to her. I did my research about her before taking this, because I've been around long enough to not just go for, just because they're famous or something, it's got to be a good experience. And she, more than the other good actresses around, seek out good directors, or I like to think so. In my case, but not just good, but like interesting. Lars von Trier and Noah Baumbach. Some of these people, you wouldn't get a Kate Winslet or whoever else seeking out. Even Spike Jonze might be too crazy for them. It's like Nicole really. It's very important to her to be challenged. And she challenged me too, to find the truth in this relationship, which we didn't have a lot of time to rehearse. I had a very strong script, and there's a certain amount of like, oh my God, it's Nicole Kidman. But after the first day, you're learning each other's language. I'm learning when to not say something, because she's a very self-sufficient actor. Aaron Eckhart likes more input. He likes comedy on the set. She doesn't. There's a teenage kid who has to work with her. It's a whole other thing. Giving him a lot of hugs and like talking to him a lot. Diane Weiss just wants 1 or 2 lines, words of notes. She has her own thing. Sandra Oh is very cuddly. Tammy Blanchard got nervous, had to calm her down. You know, it's like you're a therapy for everybody. And whether they're known or not known. It was strange to have like paparazzi hanging out. I hadn't really had that on my set, and you know, Nicole had to have a security guy to deal with the Steve Sands, you know, the notorious paparazzo of all time, who was trying to get in with me and like be my best friend, and then I realized he was just manipulating me to get the frame. So it was a trip, but we shot it in the same way that I shot Short Bus and Hedwig, in terms of the same amount of days, no trailers, everything's up on the screen money-wise. You know, I had more wigs in Hedwig than this. Nicole had no wigs. And everyone's staying close to the set, you know, like keeping moving quickly, which actors prefer than waiting around for 10 hours to do one line.